Morning, everybody. Tasty Trades here for March 31st, last trading day in March. The Bible says in Proverbs 31, verse 10, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil." So you can thank God if you've got a good woman to help you, because they are hard to find. On the chart today, we've got basically two legs up here. The second leg kind of started going into a range with now the range sort of has this bullish imbalance. I wouldn't be surprised though if we started fading back down into the range. You really don't have much direction here so far. Um, so, you know, just got to wait for something to show up. Maybe if we push down in here with a strong move down and get a nice correction, then maybe you can get on with a short. But I don't really see anything. This is just very messy right now. Got some 10 a.m. news, some sort of job openings that'll might cause a spike in the market for 5 seconds, 10 seconds. So you just want to be aware of that. That's on the horizon coming up. But other than that, yeah, not a whole lot here to talk about so far. So we will be back again later. All right, so we pushed up out of the range here. Again, very messy. Nothing, you can't tell what's going on. So it pushes up, and sometimes you just can't do anything until the price action kind of resets for you. So it just keeps pushing up, making new highs, another new high, and finally we get this push down back through the EMA. It's clearing these levels here where prices bounced before. And so I was looking for one leg, two legs. Just doesn't make it back through the EMA on that second try up and fails here. So, I'm not going to take that because it's only like half that leg. So, remember the market is layered, so you can just get trapped. Even though this looks like a technical second attempt to you visually, this could want to go for a bigger second leg back, so you could just get trapped in here and then go up to make that second try up. So now we have pushed down to basically a new low. Now we're pushing up again, and I don't know. I probably, if this tries to function like a second leg, I don't know that I would take that because this is already pushed down to a new low. And for a trend to be technically played out, that's all you need. Although bigger picture, this may be functioning like a second leg, which will then try to, go back down maybe and make a second leg. But for me, I just can't visually justify it. If you're somebody who's a better, bigger picture chart reader than me, and you understand what's going on, then it's up to you. But this push down has already made a clear break and a new low, so I'm not interested in shorts anymore. So now maybe we'll see what's going on maybe we're going to push up again, or um, maybe this pushes up, makes even like a bigger low or high, and then tries another fade. Um, when I'm off the camera here, maybe I'll look for some other structure potentially that's pushing up. I don't know. So this could be this could be a bigger picture second leg that might try to push down here, but just too risky for me, especially now given how big that bar is. It's probably 5 points, and with this technically played out, I will skip that. Okay, so like I said, this second push up on a bigger picture um, could function as the second leg. It does, but I have to obey my rules with this being technically played out and not take that. Um, but if I would have got something like that off this push, if it would have launched from here, okay, and we get something like that off here, then I'm okay taking that because I can see that's one leg, two legs, and then this will try probably to push down for a new low. But because we technically played out, I have to skip that. So too bad that didn't happen right here and it got stuck on the EMA for a minute. But that's just trading, and follow your rules, and you'll miss things, but they'll protect you from taking bad trades too. All right, so this is it's a little choppy, but I think we could probably view this move as a trend working down. You got this leg, then this leg, and on this is working on another leg. So that makes it kind of tricky, but I think we have a trend here that if you get two clean legs, which this is not really has been operating, this price action has not been operating in a way to give you two clean legs so far today, but that's what I'd be looking for. Be looking for an opportunity to get short with this, and potentially try a runner, because let's look at it. So if we're going to try to fade, now it's not saying that, we may push down in here and just bounce out of here and keep going, but if prices are played out here to the upside and they want to start fading this range, well, you have all the way down here, we've got a long way to go. You got potentially 100 points here that would be worth catching a runner on and trying to figure out how to manage. So I probably will be looking to do that if I can figure out a place to get in on a trade on a short. So that's what I'm looking for right now. All right, let's talk about what's happening here. So last time we were looking at this downtrend, and you just don't get anything. It just flat reverses on you. And at first I had this probably drawn. I wasn't even thinking about it long, because when you've got a big strong trend that has not retested most of the time, unless this gets real close back up here, you're still in a um, all the way up here. You're within a corrective phase all the way up to you know common corrective areas, the 38.2 retracement. So all the way up here, you could be just correcting on this trend. So I'm not really even really thinking long, but just from a visual standpoint, this does end up breaking and getting a new high. Then you get one leg down, two legs down here, and fortunately, if you went long there, thinking I'm taking like a second leg long, um, you got burned, and it's not good. Sometimes these are okay if this had not already broken and made a new high, but this trend is played out, so the bias is against you. So you don't want to um, you don't want to take that. If you had had more room to the EMA and this finished better, um, maybe you think about that one, but you don't have but 2 points there to the EMA, so that's no good. And you can see how you didn't quite make it, rejected off the EMA. Another example why we need to pay attention to the EMA and how close we are when we're entering a trade. If we're entering in the direction of, we're entering where the EMA is against us. So let's just see what happens here. So now we've got this first push down. We probably push back up, played out. Let's see if we get another push down here, and it turns into some sort of trend structure that we can trade from. All right, let's see. So we were in this area when we left, saying I was looking for maybe hopefully this to push down. You just don't really get anything. Pushes up, gets real sloppy, pushes down again, pushes up again, down again, and we launch off there. At first you'd be looking at that as leg, and maybe if you got a couple clean legs here, but the way this is printing, the amount of space the bars are covering and how often they're printing is not going to allow you to probably get something here. And then we push up, make a new high, but you never know. You could easily draw a short-term trend there, and you could get trapped in that. Does make it to the EMA, pushes down a little bit, and then you get this first leg up, second leg up, and somebody may be drawing a wider structure off this and fooling themselves. And I would not. This looks like one leg up, two legs up to me. Um, you could draw. You'll see people draw something like this. Maybe it turns into something, but I'm not relying on that to take a trade here, a long trade. Because often you hear me talk about these two-legged structures will end up when you try to draw a wider channel off those, you'll end up getting trapped, and you'll lose on those. And you can just see here, I'm sure some poor soul, went drew something like that. Okay, hold on. And they pasted it up here, and they looked at that as one leg down, two legs down, confirming the trend line, and they went long there and got stopped out. So, like I say, these wider channels you'll find that form off two legs are often traps. So you may win on those once in a while and feel like you're smart, but more often than not, you'll lose on those, and so those are not profitable trades normally to take. Now, when they win, it keeps going, then it looks like, oh yeah, I see that. That looks like a wider channel there, and you'll think that you'll be able to take those every time, and you're just kind of fooling yourself into seeing something that's there when it works, but you don't see it when it doesn't work, if that makes sense. That's a lot of these weird trades that people try to take. They see somebody mark them on charts, then they try to take them in real time and they get stopped out. So there will be some reason why you wouldn't want to go long there, and whatever. But looks like this is kind of just from a structure standpoint. It looks like, you know, just something you want to observe when you get these trends or ranges. Poke up and you're expecting a fade, but notice this fades not very far, then it pushes up. Next time it tries to fade, it doesn't even fade that far, and it's pushing up again. So, whether this turns into some sort of range here or we end up, just continuing to go higher, maybe you want to look at this as a one leg up, second leg up, maybe. So, um, keep an eye on this high level. Um, yeah, so we just gotta, I don't like anything here right now. So we'll just keep watching and looking for things to play out in one direction and some other structure to develop in another. You just want to maybe be a little bit more careful taking shorts because the shorts are not getting very far today before they're turning around. So I'll be back again later. Okay, so there's some kind of news came out here. I don't know what it might have been. Clearly, you can see by the timestamps down here, we had a ton of volume just came in around 12:30. You can see how many bars printed compared to, the previous 45 minutes before that. So you got this big string pushed up again. When you get something, when it's doing stuff like this, okay, and you're just getting big, long runs, I don't typically look for a lower high or something like something's played out because there's just no telling where this is going to stop doing this sort of thing. So you could just be trapping yourself as price, pushes down a little bit and then vaults again. It can't even come back to the EMA here. And then finally you get what looks like one leg down, two legs down here. And then you get one leg up. Here's a second leg up, and now we're starting to push down again. So it's difficult to follow. I mean, you can see after you get these legs, then it's going to go the other way, but you're not really getting any kind of setup to go with it. And here you get, one leg down. Maybe this is going to be like a second leg down sort of thing. So, it's just not it's not being very friendly. And I think with the printing, the bars. And again, I think that's due to how big the price action is, how much prices are moving today with respect to, just overall. So here you've got, you can just see how much prices have moved. And so when you're looking for these tiny little trends or looking for clean trends that are um, you're trying to get setups off of, and prices are just swinging around, it makes it very difficult to find those sorts of things. So you could even look at this now as, this is a downtrend break, new low. So I'd just be concerned about taking any more shorts or anything right now. Again, when things don't pan out and you're not getting what you want to see, you just don't do anything. And you'll see, you may watch somebody's chart review again, I'll say it. You may see 15 arrows, 25 arrows on the chart. You could have gone short here, long here, whatever. You just have to understand and ignore all that stuff and just look for the clean setups that you can really kind of visually understand what's going on in the price action instead of just guessing it swings. Um, like this, like somebody, you could have got a couple points there, you could have got a few points here, but this one loses, but that won't get mentioned. Um, and I'm not saying that any of these will necessarily have arrows on them, but you know that's just the sort of thing that you'll see, and you'll never be able to figure out that that style of trading or what you're seeing on on reviews on finished charts. So anyway, I'm just looking for prices to settle down and maybe give us something that we can visually understand what's happening with the price action that gives us an opportunity to catch a trade. So I'm not going to try to guess here like this is 2 legs down. I'm going to take that higher low. This price action is very spread out today. So it's difficult to tell exactly what's happening. And that's why I'll sit here all day, because you may not see something that looks very good until 2:30 with an hour and a half to go and whatever. So, to hear somebody say, I just trade an hour or two in the morning and then I'll go play with my dog or whatever. Well, that's just not reality, in my opinion, with being able to identify good setups that you can trade reliably. I sit here, I treat it like a normal job and I do it all day. So, anyway, be back again later. So, I just kind of watch prices here for a while, do this stuff sideways. And remember, we got this big run up, and then we went down a couple legs, up a couple legs. All right. And then we got this higher low, which I said, not interested in that. Chugging it across, just kind of going sideways. And then we come back down here to this level, bounce, come back down here to this level again. And then finally, actually, we bounce up again, and then we test it one more time, and we start getting, let's just push up. Initially, I was looking for something, hoping push up and come back down, but it didn't really do anything. Just kind of held this level, bumped up again, and came back down. It's just chopping around back up to this high level where we were before. So I think whenever we got that and started bouncing, I drew this range. So we're back up there, and now we're pushing off this. So I'd be with basically, it depends on how you want to draw this. I drew it like um, when we first had this, I had it drawn. I had the move drawn to there. Once we pushed up, pushed down, it made a lower low than that and pushed up higher again. Then I drew it like this and pasted it there. So you can see we end up getting 2 legs. Was hoping that we get a run up here and get a lower high off this level, but you never get the lower high. It just uh, drops down, dropping through the EMA. Maybe you'll get a nice push down and a couple of legs that you can maybe try to get a short. So that's kind of what I'm just basically watching this range. Out of all the price action that has gone on today, all this stuff, all I'm really interested in right now is basically this range. If this continues to be a range, that's the only structure I see that you could really kind of hang your hat on for the moment. If it continues to obey it, you are getting these higher highs, or I'm sorry, higher lows, as you see are pushing up. So, hoping that this can start defeating these and pushing down, that there isn't some kind of weird, shallow uptrend here, because that's like those are nearly impossible to play. You can't rely on that stuff at all, especially on a day like this where you've just been had this run up for whatever that news item was that made prices run up here, and now you've basically gone sideways since then. So that's all I'm looking at right now. All right, so this is what I was saying exactly did not want to see is prices starting to bounce up here and create some sort of trend. Because you're still inside all this other price action. And so you draw it like this, you get this little push out, pushes up to a new high, but now you're off the top of that. It's right into the EMA. I shouldn't say right into it, but there's not a whole lot of room there. And so, I mean, you can draw this another way where maybe that's not a break there. I wouldn't rely on that as a break and a reversal. So we draw this off these closes. That still fits really well. It's still fitting okay off the highs. Maybe we'll just leave it like that. Um, yeah, so, but now keep in mind you're back up here into these highs from earlier. So, um, getting close to the end of the day, so I wouldn't count on, I really don't like that trend. Wouldn't really count on this. It's rather shallow. It's not always making it back to one side or the other. And again, you're right into, if we just do a little, or close to these highs. So, maybe on a bigger picture, this is some sort of strange retest for this. So I'd be concerned about taking a long here unless we just continue to use this trend um, and hold it. Well, then maybe. But yeah, I don't see anything I really like in all of this. So be back again probably post market unless there's a trade or something I find. All right, everybody, I'm just going to call it here for the day, for the month. Um, there's just, this is just hard to trade. There's nothing here. Price just wants to go up today. You can see we're almost up 188 points, and there's nothing really you can do about this stuff. Every time it was in this channel, it looks like, and then we pushed up. Once we got above the EMA, just wanted to keep holding the EMA and pushing higher. You don't want to try to take any of these little micro setups that are right into highs. This could just roll over any second, like it is right now. So, and maybe this is just profit taking for the day because we're 10 minutes before the session closes, and so people are probably larger institutions probably just taking their profits at the end of the day before the market closes. But I'm just going to call it here. There's nothing here. It's just very choppy. No clean structures to trade. And yeah, so I'm just going to end the video here and I will see you again tomorrow. And, maybe this looks like this is finally starting to push down. We'll see. Anytime we've got some sort of bearish correction, bearish move down, it hasn't been able to do anything before it just starts bouncing higher again. Yeah, so tomorrow I will have the broker statement for you because today's the end of the month, and we'll see. You'll be able to see how I did. I can actually show you here just a second. Okay, so there's the whatever snapshot of the monthly P&L. Couldn't fit all the trades on here, but yeah, so ended up pretty good for the month. Could have been a lot better, especially if I hadn't taken that dumb trade that one day, and I had hit a couple other ones that I missed. So yeah, so we'll just end it here, I guess, and we'll see you again tomorrow.